The best salespeople in the world are the ones who do it without you even noticing. Everyone's a salesperson, especially if you're an entrepreneur. In the I'm Not Salesy podcast, join me, Cassie McKenzie, and my fabulous guests as we dive into the top strategies, mindset, and energetics around sales and money so that you can hear more "yes, I'm in" instead of crickets or getting ghosted. So if you're ready to fully book out your programs with aligned AF clients and have people chasing you down in your inbox asking how to work with you, then subscribe to this podcast today and become not salesy too. Ooh la la, we are back and welcome to I'm Not Salesy. This is Cassie McKenzie. I'm your big sales breathwork mentor and sales mentor for selling your way to $1 million biz. And I'm excited to be bringing in this topic today because I have a lot to say about it, but I'm going to try to keep it to the facts, man. Okay. So today is about unleashing the power of your mindset in sales success. And while, gosh, I love strategy. I love sales strategy. And it, you can go so deep in it. But when your strategy isn't working, then we got to look at the other side, the energetics. And so I was like, do I name this the power of mindset or the power of energetics? And I'm going to keep it mindset because I know that you've been told that you fix your mindset and you're going to have sales. Yes, sales is a mental game. Sales is so mental. There's you take me. I've been selling for 24 years. I still have launches where things don't sell, especially right away. And when the things don't sell right away, I start to wonder, well, what have I done wrong? Is it enough? Am I enough? Oh my God, what's happening? And my mind wants to go to those deep, dark places where I'm a complete loser and, have all these loser thoughts, right? But here's the thing, we all have them. And especially I'd be willing to bet if you are a high performer and a high achiever, then you have more of them that are active and stronger than you're giving them credit for. And they, in some situations, have hidden from you. But I'll tell you what, when you go to run a business, every single question that you've had about yourself comes up, doesn't it? You know it does. So I want you to be able to really unleash the power of your mindset to make more sales. But in order to do that, you have to go into a place where the mindset is actually doing the most harm, and that's in your body. Okay. So a lot of people think what a lot of people do is, if I've got a problem or if I want to manifest something, I'm just going to journal about it and get up every morning and journal for 3 hours. And then, eventually I'm going to get what I want. But your mind does control 95% of what you do every day. Your subconscious mind is always looking at past experiences and then projecting them into the future as a predictive quality. And so when you want to make a change in behavior, that's why we have to look at reprogramming your conscious or your subconscious mind. Because consciously you might be saying, I want to make 5K this week, but unconsciously, if it seems like it's dangerous to do that. Well, I say quote unquote dangerous, little bunny ear quotes. If your subconscious mind thinks that it's dangerous or, because that was a part of your brain that was formed back in the caveman era when there were saber-toothed tigers. And danger back then may have been a tiger or a woolly mammoth trampling you. Now, the danger factor is more of, not being able to pay your mortgage or your business supporting your family and your husband having a job, but then if your husband loses his job and then everything's on your shoulders. Or the danger could be you and your body aren't healthy, or you don't have a lot of extra time, or maybe you have kids and you want to spend time with your kids, but adding more clients in your subconscious mind, if it took a lot of work to get to the client levels that you have right now, then subconsciously your brain might be saying, well, it's dangerous to add on additional clients, because if it took that amount of work back then it's going to take X amount of work to have this, have all of these clients sign on too. And even though consciously that's not the case, maybe you've structured your offer suite or the offers or products that you have so that that's actually not the case. But if your subconscious is using the past history to predict the future, then it's going to stop you every time. Then we also look at the fact of old emotions and rejections and stored stories and let's see, like the times when you started doubting yourself, or you were rejected, or your business was doing really well, but then the market shifted and you weren't able to catch up, or you had up and down sales months. All of those times are stored in your body, and it's stored in your body as trauma. Even though maybe you weren't like beaten by your clients, your body is still holding on to that as trauma that happened to your nervous system and that happened to yourself, and your mind is storing it as an experience that it doesn't want to have to do again or go there. And so that's why I love breath work, because breath work really takes you to the body to release these stored emotions that are literally causing you to contract. And when you're contracted, you're in scarcity and lack mode. And when you're in lack and scarcity mode, you can't be in an abundant vibrational level to be in a vibrational match for the success that you want. And so, yeah, we're going a little woo here, but this is how it works. And that's why, because of these stored memories in your body, that's why you tend to succumb to self-doubt. That's why you might focus on the times where you failed instead of the lessons you learned from those failing. What am I saying? Lessons you can extract from the failures to then shift what you're doing in the future and get a different result. And it's also why you tend to resist change. And even though you might consciously know that as an entrepreneur, you can't be risk adverse, right? You got to be, the greatest risk is the one you don't take. And so if you're resisting change or resisting, maybe you've only worked with clients one-on-one and you're looking to work with people in more of a group setting, say you're a coach, or say you've only ever done like big long sales calls to close people and you want to offer like 10-minute consultations and be done with it. That's a change. Or it could be a change as far as going from doing everything yourself to hiring on help or a VA to help you and relinquishing some of that control. And honestly, what this all comes down to are these fears of failing, the fear of being rejected, of people saying no, of saying you don't fit in with me. I don't vibe with you. I don't want to hire you. I don't see the value in you. And that fear of being rejected and being abandoned can impact your business more than any market shift can. And then it can also make you not able to adapt to market shifts when they come. Because if you are afraid of those and you're afraid of a recession or afraid of people not wanting to pay higher prices, then your mind is going to actively seek out all of those instances where they can make it true, where mind can make it true. And instead of looking for all the evidence of the puzzle pieces where we can bring them all together to make your big vision come true. I'll tell you, in my own life, one thing I'm working on is letting go of a stream of income and placing full faith in my business, to be honest, because I've always had except for like when I was home with my kids for a few years and I didn't have a corporate job. Back when I had my corporate life, I, obviously had money coming in through that stream of income consistently. And it was a lot of money, right? And so about a year ago, I became aware of the virtual sales industry. And so I actually was hired on to a virtual sales team. I literally decided one day, I was like, oh my God, I could do that in my sleep. That sounds so fun. I could totally do it. I'm already sitting at my computer. Why not? I'm already at home. The kids are at school. Why not make extra money doing that, right? Because my husband was unemployed at the time too. Like this time last year, he was unemployed. And so I picked up this position with a virtual sales company and absolutely loved it. I loved it, loved it, loved it. I'm actually like a contractor for them. And when I did that, it was so much fun. Well, I was shifted into a different contract over at one point in time. And that one hasn't been as much fun, and it's not really bringing me as much joy. And so for me, one thing that I'm working through and using breathwork for right now is to let go of the safety net there with my, corporate sales position that I'm doing. It's like sales support remotely and virtually. And because I do believe if it's something that doesn't light you up, then it's it can be very, very draining. But I honestly want to share this because I feel like somebody else needs to hear it right now. Because there's this stigma, especially in online business, where, and I was afraid to share this for a really long time. I was afraid, maybe I'll make a podcast episode just about this story. So I won't go too in depth now. But I was afraid to share this because I didn't want to debrand myself and be like, hey, I've got this online business, but also I'm in a sales position, I'm doing both. And so, I'm really using breathwork right now to tap into that abundance mindset and that safety and that trust and security around fully relying on my business month to month, especially given the pivots I've done. Last year, I went from business coaching to sales coaching and took on this client and hurt my leg. And so, all these things have happened, and it's been, as I pivoted into now really solely focusing on my passive offers as well as breathwork and my high value breathwork membership for peak performers, which is Breathe Your Way to Millions. This is something I'm launching currently. I just started it. I'm so freaking excited. And as I'm doing that, I envision, the vision I see is working with corporations, being on stages, helping, groups of people in conference rooms to unleash what's inside of them and really connect them with their vision too. And I envision all of that, right? But in this waiting period, where, there's uncertainty with our family, I've got my husband and his job, things like that. I'm using breathwork for that and for overcoming the self-doubt of, can I really support myself when for 2.5 decades I've allowed corporations to support me, right? And there's been a lot of instances where my quote unquote launch failures or struggles in online business of my own have come forward into, the inner bitch that's in me, and quieting the inner bitch is a big thing. But you can't just quiet the inner bitch, you got to go to the body. And in this journey with breath work, I have released so much anxiety, anger, frustration, sadness, depression that I didn't even know that I was walking around with. And it's allowed me to be a better mom. It's allowed me to be a better wife. I can notice when triggering situations are not good for my health, and when I can stick up for myself And I have, I have leaned into trusting myself and my intuition and my inner guidance more and more and more. And that is beautiful. And for that, I'm healing my body. I don't feel as stressed. If I don't cross off my to-do list, I'm not beating myself up over it. We're about to go on vacation for 2 weeks to Greece and Italy. I'm so pumped about that. And if I were sitting here thinking about fear of failure and fear of rejection or not being able to make it work, then, and I mean, think about coming out with breath work. Like doing the breath work and being embodied in that has helped me. Like, I don't doubt my abilities as somebody who can provide huge transformations through the, hypno breakthrough breath work that I'm doing with my clients, because I see it happening right before my eyes. I can like hear it in their voice. I see it in the tears that come to their eyes afterwards. I had one client say, if you stop doing this work, I'm going to kill you. It's like, it's amazing, really, if you think about it. And I absolutely love it. So, if you really want to have a resilient mindset and to overcome like these limiting thoughts that you have, these stories that keep you small, the reasons that pop up from your inner bitch that say, you can't do that. You're a fraud. Who are you to do that? People are going to think you're dumb if you tell them that. People are going to think you're weak if you share your vulnerabilities. People are going to think that you're unhireable if you're not perfect. If your reel isn't perfect, if your hair is turning gray, if your wrinkles are showing too much, if you have a double chin, all these things, these are fucking shit that comes from the inner bitch. And the inner bitch rules your nervous system. So if your nervous system is panicking at the thought of things not being perfect, then that's why we have to go to the body to unleash the power of your mind so you can have more sales. Okay? Because then it helps you develop a resilient body and mindset. And you are able to say, fuck this shit, and really mean it. You can actually see where, like, if you're, right, you know how people always say, like, it's always happening for you, not to you? Like, embrace your challenges as an opportunity for growth. Well, the reason why it's hard to do that for most people, especially if you're not doing the work to get these emotions and stuck things out of your body, is that sometimes challenges can trigger these old memories that are stored in your body. And when they trigger these memories that are stored in your body, that's when it makes you go into anxiety. It makes it hard to breathe. You might start to question yourself and doubt yourself. That's when you'll, maybe your hands will start shaking if you really go into that panic, if it's like a deep, level of trauma. And that's when it'll impact your confidence. You start to think you're an imposter, you're a fraud, and setback after setback will lead you feeling, demotivated. And so when we're able to go into the body and breathe through these emotions and breathe in the awareness of the actual thoughts and have the breakthroughs around where these patterns come from, because a lot of times you might not even know the real reason for a pattern. I had something come up the other day that was like an experience I had when I was like 11 years old or something like that. And it was so crazy because that was the experience that was driving some ways I was showing up in my business that were causing my sales not to pop off. And I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. That little 11-year-old me didn't feel like she was good enough and wasn't able to really hold her voice. And because of that, she, that little girl in me isn't showing up powerfully online in certain ways. And it was like really interesting to see, but I wouldn't have been able to see it without the breath work that I was doing and without the awareness. Like, it would have been stuck in there. And with that, I was able to, and this is the craziest story, I was able to release, like I felt it coming out of my kidney and my adrenals, which is where I've been having a lot of issues around like my like adrenal response. My adrenals have been like under functioning, and my thyroid has been lately, like chronically for the last like year or so. And so I've been doing the somatics and doing the breath work and doing healing and taking supplements and trying not to eat shit that hurts the adrenals too. But oh my God, I'll tell you what, changing is a commitment. Let me just tell you, fuck. We went to Orlando the other day, and the number of people walking around barefoot after being on one of those water rides, even in the bathroom, I had to go get a beer. I had to take the edge off. I had to do it. And I did it, and I loved it. And then I applied for my medical marijuana card, and I was like, fuck it. I'm going to take the edge off one way or another when it needs. I'm going to be armed. I'm going to be armed with what I need. I've got the tools. There's no excuse. So there you go. Welcome to my life. All right. And, but what I was saying is I then had a meeting with my healers, and it was interesting because the message I got in the breath work was like, I'm not enough. It was, I'm not enough was the thought that was stored in my adrenals, and it was making my body do more and do more and do more and do more in order to get the results that I wanted, and the results that I wanted still weren't coming. And so when I turned to the breath work and I did that, it started coming out. Like I was laying on my side, like just pulling energy out of my left kidney area. And when I had my meeting with my healers, like 2 or 3 days later, they were like, what did you do? This is crazy. Like this is, you released so much. And I had not told them anything about this. They, I shit you not, said, so the message we're getting from your body right now is the thought of I'm not enough was stored in your adrenals. And I was like, you're fucking kidding me. That's exactly the message I got. That's exactly the thing. And it was like, they actually told me, they said, do your breath work every single time before you come here, because you are helping to bring shit to the surface that is ready to be released that otherwise we couldn't have worked on. We wouldn't have been there. And I tell you, like, I was not telling them anything about what, I said I've been doing my breath work, but I was not telling them about specific thoughts that I was having that were coming through, like breakthroughs that I was having that came to me in the breath work. And it's when I knew that it was magic. Like I fucking knew even more that this is what everybody needs to be doing, because that allowed me to then get in a different mindset. And when I get in a different mindset and you start to do your journaling and you start to do your affirmations and you start to say, everything is always showing up for me exactly the way I want to have it. Or, I always bring in money. Money is always here. My whole life has changed completely. Or, I'm going to hit that 100K month. This is mine. This is mine. This is mine. When you start to say things like that, your body's on board. It doesn't have those stuck fears inside that are afraid of failure or afraid of rejection. You're able to start to do that mental, sit the fuck down bitch kind of thing with the inner bitch that wants to keep bringing up these thoughts, but you're able to quiet them and be like, no, I don't need you this time. I don't need you this time. We're able to move on. Okay. And then because of all of this, because of this work that you're doing, and you don't succumb to that self-doubt anymore. It doesn't stop you before the finish line. You don't focus on the fact that 2 people have enrolled when you are almost to the end of your launch. And so you may as well just stop your launch. And then you miss out on 10 people joining on the final day, right? And instead, you feel like you're the most powerful motherfucker possible. You're able to tell that inner bitch to shut down when she wants to announce a limiting belief for you to latch on to. Like you become so bigger, your energy is so much bigger than those little tiny thoughts that pop up that you're able to, you almost look at them like you're a flight attendant and you're telling people to sit down, right? We're about to board. We're taking off. We're about to leave. The plane is leaving and you need to be in your seat for that to happen because we're going to Greece, right? And when you're able to do that, guess what? You don't stop yourself. You don't stop your momentum. You start achieving next level and new level and next level and new level of success because you're able to normalize success in your body. And then because it's normalized in your body, you're able to normalize that success in your mind too. Okay? So if you're ready for that kind of life, then continue to do your work, right? Continue to do the somatic work, get into your body, get those emotions, get those breakthroughs, get them out so you can get in this flow state where you're able to have the confidence, feel like you're a badass, and not have these like little obstacles mean anything about you. And you start to feel motivated and motivated and motivated more and more and more and more, and have that motivation carry you past any kind of setback that is just like a little blip in the road. And if you want me to be your guide in this, I invite you to join me in Breathe Your Way to Millions, because this is the exact work that we're doing. And here's how it's going to work. Every week we have 2 live calls, and I do 2 kinds of breath work. One is the activation breath work. They're like quick and dirty little like 8 to 12 minute sessions that get you out of the stuck state. These are like shift your state, shift your outcomes, right? So these get you out of the stuck state. They move you through it. They show you what's happening. And then I literally shift you in the energy of getting shit done, attracting clients, opening up your energy field for people to come forth, which means you're making more money. You're not sitting there overthinking things so much. The procrastination goes away because you have a tool to work through it in just a matter of like 10 minutes. I mean, fucking magic. How often have you sat there procrastinating for hours on something? Like, you won't be doing that, because these are going to be specially tailored for these sales situations that I've been in for 25 years, girl. I know about them. Okay. So, and then the other session that we're going to have each week is an expansion session. So these are where your massive breakthroughs will come through. These are where you're laying there breathing for about 25 minutes, and I'm taking you through a hypno breakthrough breathwork process where we release what's limiting you and blocking you, and we really get to the root of it through the process that I take you through. And then I connect you with your, releasing the stuck shit that's in your body, the things that have been keeping you paralyzed in inaction, in not taking action, and then connect you with breakthroughs around your vision. And the breakthroughs, these are the sessions that I'm having with like 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs right now, and they're telling me that they've been stuck with these issues for 2 months, and one 30-minute session with me released it and gave them the answers to pull the puzzle together on something that they'd been racking their brain on their own for months and months. So these are powerful sessions. So you're going to have one of these per week, one of the activations per week. As we start to grow this, the vault, you get access to all the replays. And this is a 6-month container, because this is not just about having one session a week. This is about having a session to look to every single day. And there's already some pre-recorded breathworks that are going to be in your vault when you join. But I want to make this like a really high value experience. We're going to have a Telegram group too, where you can share your wins, but also give me like riff requests and breathwork requests as we build out the vault. And if we need to add more calls, or if I need to record other breathworks as we go, I will, because I love it and it's so much fun for me. But the whole point of this is to give you the tools that you need to be able to get this shit out of your body and start to really work towards aligning your mind and your body with the success in those higher income months. And, breathing your way into that $1 million business that you and I both know you're meant to have. So if that sounds good, I want you to reach out to me on Instagram at XOCassieMcKenzie. And we are enrolling now. The first 10 people who enroll will get a 2 bonus calls with me. The first 10 people who enroll will get 2 bonus calls with me to create your very own custom breath work. And this custom breath work is going to be yours to keep. It's going to be private to you, and it's going to be especially designed for the exact breakthroughs that you're seeking around a specific issue that you're working through as well. And you'll be able to do it over and over and over again as you have your business. So if this sounds great to you, reach out to me, grab one of those first 10 spots. You're going to want to do it. It's the program itself is going to start in mid-June when I return from Greece. And I can't wait to see what you and I create together. This is going to be so much fun. Tell 10 of your friends about this podcast episode. I really invite you to invite them here. They're going to want to be a part of this. If they are an entrepreneur, they're going to want to be a part of this podcast as we grow. And if you want to share any big takeaway that you had in this episode, then tag me on Instagram at XOCassieMcKenzie or shoot me a DM. I love to hear your feedback and I'd love to hear from you. Thank you. I'll see you next week.